him over something more aggressive or defensive, like maybe an aftershock or electrocute. You see those sometimes. Looks like West of Pier might be trying to do some kind of cheesy invade group for the bot side charges. Might see some shenanigans coming out in just a second here. Sivers gonna get to the bush first. She's gonna flash out instantly. Wow. An easy flash forced from Sivir in favor of West of Pier. So, not a bad start to the game. It's never bad to have the enemy AD carry flashless. Not too much else looks like it's going to come out of it, though. And fairly normal jungle starts seem to be coming out here. Nothing too crazy. Vygar did look to go place a deep ward on Trundle's red buff. Not Trundle, sorry. Gragas's red buff. So they are going to go ahead and spot where he starts. Now they know they don't see him on red buff, but they're going to know from that he's starting blue buff. So, and Vladimir's going to go ahead and look for this. I always like to switch buff wards. They're great to keep track in the jungler, and keeping track in is just so important.
It's going to be very interesting to see how West Pier plays this game because on the game prior, they were hit back-to-back for the semifinals. They were both playing on the bottom left corner instead of the top right. Now, I was going to see how they do for Dragon because I do know that they had taken advantage of that bottom left priority. So they took all 4 Dragons last game. Now, will they take the same amount this game, or they'll do it worse?
You said West of Pier got all 4 Dragons last game?
Correct.
Awesome. So I would expect to see them shouting something in here. A little bit of trade coming out lane. Someone's going to have to flash out. Really nice coming out from Tarek, but not much else is going to come out of that. An early flash being forced. So now McFarland's bot lane is flashless, vulnerable, and Gragas is looking bot lane, but they're pushed up the tower, so probably just going to use that to get another Scuttle Crab and secure some vision. You were talking about the dragon before, and it seems like what West of Pier doing so far would be consistent with attempting to maintain control over the dragon, right? So they've drafted a bot lane, this Lucian Tarek, which they probably would expect to have. They would expect this lane to have priority, right? So they can get the shove going and look to get priority over that dragon. So when it comes up, they can get it. Gragas is a very effective early game jungler. He's hard to outsmite, and he does a lot of damage early game. So high base damage, high base stats, healthy clear. Going to be able to contest Hecarim for those objectives. And Vladimir is likely to have priority over Vygar by the time the dragon gets level 6. Once he starts getting those items, especially once he gets Proto Belt, it's so hard for Vygar to really do anything to him. He can just pull out of the cage, pull out of the ultimate. There's like no real way for Vygar to actually hurt Vladimir. So I think if West of Pier are trying to maintain control over these dragons and keep the bot side under their influence, they're probably off to a good start just from drafting.
Sorry, we're going to go ahead and...
One moment, please.
Right here.
I don't even know if this is logo, but
Something. Well, let's roll it. Tell me.
no, it went out of my phone.
Way back. Yep.
Alright, we're back on the Rift here. Seems like not all that much has happened so far.
Sorry for the delay. We had a couple technical difficulties for our stream, so we had to change our logos. Something very important, so we're representing the correct schools here. So.
Yep, Vladimir looking for a solo kill onto the Vigar. He's going to flash, ignite, tides of blood coming out, and he's going to go ahead and pick up that kill as he hits level 6. Very well done by the Vlad. He's using the surprise of getting level 6. So, saw what he did. As he killed a minion and got level 6, he was engaging on Vigar to kind of catch him off guard and secure that kill, and it worked really well. So, very well done by the Vlad, picking up that first kill, securing priority in the mid lane wave, freeing the Gragas up to
And
do
look at
shenanigans.
West here as well is still getting proper vision of that dragon. I do know that McFarlane has a counter ward set up on the opposite side of the wall just to make sure that they can keep somewhat vision against that dragon.
Yeah, I'm finding myself wondering if it's prudent for McFarlane to even try to contest these dragons. Their bot lane is off to a little bit of a rocky start, and their mid lane has same thing. So I'm wondering if it might be better for them to just try to focus on getting a top lane lead, maybe going for that Rift Herald as soon as it spawns. Until Rift Herald's extension, they start playing on Dragon, but it might be worth trading Dragon for a Rift Herald, being that I can't see them having an easy time defending on any of these dragons in the near future, based off the way the lanes are currently going. Pretty significant CS lead over the bot lane on the side of West Appear. Same thing mid lane, plus the K gold. Top lane is much more even, however. And Hector looks like he's going to go for something. Trying to go for a jump. Trundle's going to strip around the world and come to a flank. Trundle doesn't seem to have any idea this is happening. He's going for the one more. Hector's going to dash in, knock Trundle back, but Trundle doesn't even care. He's just going to munch on the Baron, but justice prevails. Kill gets picked up for Hector, and Baron's going to go ahead and just push that wave in and get a clean reset off. A nice kill onto the Hector, punishing, or a nice kill for the Hector, and punishing the Trundle for getting his flash. I wonder if he's going to
For those dragons, they've been very persistent with being those dragons from past games as well. I wonder if they're going to keep going with that. Meanwhile, it looks like West Carry at one point was just about 1,000 gold in land over McFarlane, which isn't too much of a lead, but it could change later on down the game because they have been dominating the gold game.
West Appear using their influence there and their priority on the map. They're stanked mid lane and bot lane to secure a pretty easy first dragon. I'd love to see that. I think that's exactly what they should be doing. Meanwhile, Vigar's looking to try to defend his jungle camps here, but he's forced to flash out. Gragas is going to flash after him, but he has no level 6. I don't think it's much to do here. Vigar's just going to walk away. Double flash. Flash is traded. So, I think it's probably bigger to have flash off of the Gragas than off of the Vigar.
I don't know, that cage is pretty deadly, and they've been landing some pretty decent cages in the past matches as well. And especially when you can get to a Vega that can go up to a plus.
Oh, Hector's looking for plays on the Gragas here. He's going to charge at him. Looking to get his clubs. I don't know if Gragas even realizes what's happening. Hector's going to burn his R. Flash to secure the kill on the Gragas, and that's a solo kill. A nice clean kickoff in the jungle from the Hector, thanks to the superior vision of Red Side. So, if you notice, Red Side use their priority. They have a nice vision control in the top side of the map, down by the bot side of the map, and in the tri-bush here. So they are able to fairly easily keep track of where exactly that Hecarim is. Try to keep their range protected, right? Because they do have priority position a little bit unsafely at times. So it's good to know where that jungler is. Keep track of them at all times. And speaking of keeping track of the jungler, Hecarim's about to walk over a ward.
I don't think he realizes that there was a second one in there.
There was that zombie ward, but what about the normal ward? Got him. So Hecarim looking to try to get back some of this control, but he's flashed this, and Vlad and Tarek are both there. They're flashing out from Tarek to the stun. The Hecarim's going to walk through the cage. Vigar's there to peel for his ally. And again, not a whole lot of much happening there. Flash does get burned by Tarek, which is pretty nice. I'd say overall that's actually a good thing for McFarlane.
Again, Western Beer is hard, solid vision over that Drake and any future Drake. That's going to be vital. That's a vital important for the gaming streak, it does look like.
Yeah, and if you'll notice, not only the Drake, but they also do have that Stella's to the top side. Trundle is pushing Garen in. Meanwhile, I guess it's right on the BB2. Side Hecarim bit up on BB2. Vladimir's here, he's popping his ultimate. He's going in. Is he going to be able to split a kill? Maybe not. Meanwhile, Gragas is pretty deep. He's got the stopwatch. There's going to be enough for Garen's ultimate. He opts not to use it. He's looking to try to go out instead, but he's not going to quite make it. Meanwhile, Vigar ends up actually getting his ignite after the Gragas and picking up the kill. A 1-for-1 overall. Not bad for either team. I would say a kill going out to the Vigar is probably worth a kill on the Trundle. So overall, maybe worth it for McFarlane, but a 1-for-1. Anyway, I was talking before about the vision. There was the Stella's vision in the topside jungle for McFarlane. They also have Tundra pushing, which means that he has priority in lane. He can roam first if he needs to contest perhaps a Rift Herald, which McFarlane might be looking to contest if they're looking to give up the next dragon. So, West up here trying to exert pressure over the entire map, looking to avoid having to trade. They say, we don't want to trade, we want everything. We're not going to let you sneak this Herald while we're going for the dragons. So right now, people just kind of throwing CS leads growing in the side lanes, especially at the top lane. Hyper's down for a big bottom. He's going to run out. Tark's also coming down. This is attack are safe. Meanwhile, Hector's going to come down and Dragon's here for the top again. Sona's too deep. She ulted out. She flashed out. Cinder flashed out as well. Her ult came out. Dragon's, it's going to cast him in. Meanwhile, Baron teleport. He's looking to turn the fight. Justice. Tark goes down, but he turns on to Hecarim. And Gragas is looking for a kill on Sona, not going to quite find it. Lucian, meanwhile, in too deep. Vigar's here for the counter break. Justice ends his life. Overall, a 3-for-1 in favor of McFarlane. And that was a
2-for-1.
2-for-1?
2-for-1.
3-for-2? What are 3 there? 3-for-2, I think. Never mind, sorry. 3-for-2 in favor of West here. Sorry. 3-for-2 in favor of West here. A bit of a sloppy fight. I think people forgot the teleport whole thing. I kind of did, to be honest with you. So that got a little crazy pretty fast. Trundle's wailing on the tower, though. He secures first tower for that teleport from Garen. So that was actually...
Already gotten first tower.
That was actually huge for West up here. Because not only did they manage to get a 3-for-2, they managed to get first tower as well. It looks like this tower is actually not going to fall off this wave. I think West up here is going to be able to hold it, which means that overall, definitely a big win for West up here. Tarek and Gragas are running down to the river here. Tarek and Gragas looking to assert some vision control over the jungle, make sure that their bot lane tower doesn't fall down, while also setting up for some dragon control. So dragon is up. McFarlane's bot lane is recalling. I think West up here should go for this dragon. Meanwhile, I don't know how I feel about this. They're double teaming this. They're going for Rift Herald at the same time taking Dragon. That's a little bit risky, but it seems like it's going to pay off. West up here has good vision control in the top side jungle. They're going to see anything coming. And Gragas, and they got that Ocean Dragon soon enough that Gragas is going to be able to roam over and hopefully help out if the fight works out. But looks like they're just going to give it to you. So they managed to pick off both big jungle objectives at the same time. Absolutely huge for West up here. Double Ocean Dragon's going to keep them topped off. Picking up that Herald, going to help you crack open some of those outer towers. This game's looking pretty good for West up here, despite the kill difference.
That was the first big play on the side that I saw. That was a very good strategy. I have 2 Ocean Drakes, it does look like as well, which is very... It's Ocean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Sorry, the Ocean and the...
The Herald?
No, the other Drake.
Oh, they're both oceans, so
yeah, the
Mountain,
other one.
Infernal, Wind, Cloud.
Wind.
Cloud Dragon too. Spider-Man's looking to pick up a solo kill on the Vigar, but he's kind of low. I don't think he's going to be able to get it. And the scratch the solo kill. Just a little bit of crazy. Meanwhile, Hekken's coming in for a gank. Tarek does that flash and R. Silver's going to ult his Lucian, but the Tarek is going to come down in time. The Tarek stun is going to land on both Silver and Sona. Meanwhile, Sona's going to look for the kill, not quite get it. Tarek gets himself out alive. Not bad. Fancy footwork on the side of West Appear to stay alive in that fight. Meanwhile, Vlad's looking to dive. He's going into the tower. He put a belt in. Never mind, he says. We don't have a wave. I'm just going to chill. Does burn his proto belt here, so he's probably not going to be able to dive at this point. We'll see if he goes for it. I doubt it. He's just killing this game at this point.
Arc with that crazy health.
Yeah, the sustain is a little insane. Tunnel's getting a little aggressive in this mid lane. He might be in trouble. He's going to just press R and waltz right out of there. So he's safe as well. So McFarlane's bot lane looks like they're going to go down here. Viper's going to flash onto the Silver and press R, and she is going to drop. West of Lapira probably going to look to push for the tower here. How about bot lane tower? So Gragas is off the map, so it's a 4v4. Meanwhile, Hecarim's here to counter the push, keep the tower alive. Vlad's taking some tower shots. Garen's here. He has flash, but doesn't decide to go for it. Instead decides to just play it safe. I think he should have flashed Keith with Vlad. Vlad had no cool and was the villain. I think Garen could have killed Vlad there, but either way, playing it safe. Not necessarily a bad idea on a team that has a Vigar and a Sivir, right? They're going to scale really well into the late game. A clean Shades and a clean Flash managed to keep Vigar alive, but this mid lane tower has got to be going down. But still up here looking to punish the low health bars on the side of McFarlane, and they do secure that tower. They still have Herald. So they still do have Herald in the way to drop it, so I'll be interested to see where they manage to do that. Trundle is sitting on that right now. I would like to see him drop it maybe mid lane when the next dragon comes up if he has time. I'm not sure if they will have time. If they do, they can use the Herald to not, they won't necessarily get mid lane tower, but they can use it to definitely secure dragon and bot lane tower. If they have dragon, they're going to have the attack bot lane tower.
They may try to see where their entire team is and then wait for them to go on top of the lane for the tunnel would attack up top, so we give them a chance to go ahead and push top lane to that second tower.
Yeah. Hecarim doing a bit of farming here, just trying to mitigate some of the losses. He's actually up in CS on Gragas, which is fairly impressive given how... Oh, Trundle's dropping Herald. Nobody seems to know. Psych, he's in trouble now. Garen's there. Trundle's going to look to run and get out. You know, he's going to look to fight it. He's going for the trade. Oh, he knocks the Hecarim away. He's going too deep. I don't think he's going to get this. Meanwhile,
very solid clean kill on that Herald.
Meanwhile, McFarlane managed to actually pick themselves up a bot lane tower. That was a bit of a questionable Herald from the side of West up here. Vlad's here to try to turn the fight, but it looks like he's just getting himself caught out. He might be in trouble, but he got the cool. He's just going to waltz right on out of there as well.
And they're coming for yet another dragon kill.
Yep.
Probably trying to clear all these wards here. Yep, they're trying to clear all those little wards. Meanwhile, it does look like Sona does just kill that.
I'm not quite sure I saw it, but... Oh no, Sona killed the ward, so she placed her own. So she killed the ward there, yeah. So West up here looking to capitalize on all the attention topside from the Herald by trading a tower with their own. So kudos to them for recognizing that window and taking it. Dragon is up here. It should be pretty free for West up here. I'd like to see him go for that. After Vlad pushes mid lane in here. Lucian might be a little far up. He's chilling. The Hecarim's looking to maybe get a flank on, but Vigar's run down. Vlad's not here. This is a 4v3. If the fight goes down, the flash shot coming in from Sona. Lucian's caught. The Targar's coming out, but is it too little too late? It's not. Lucian stays alive. The teleport's coming in from Trundle. Then let's turn the fire. Meanwhile, Hecarim's punching so low, but Silver's touching Lucian. Trundle's going for the kill on Silver. A flash knockup from the Gragas leads to a dead Silver. Meanwhile, a good cage from Vigar is saving Silver's life temporarily, but he's going to fall as well. Vlad's going deep. He's diving the Vigar. Going to find that kill. We're looking for more. That's a 4 for 0. Did no one die on the side of West up here?
Wow, that's solid. Hearing some reactions from the crowd here is pretty exciting too. They seem to be quite into it as well.
What an insane fight for Wesley up here. That was about as good as they could have hoped for, I think. That was pretty close to going poorly, but the good reactions, the teleport coming in from the Trundle, the flank from the Vladimir, just excellent roaming, excellent map awareness, and they're rewarded for their teamwork with a tower, 4 kills, and a dragon. So, well done. Massive swing in favor of Wesley.
The dragon is being caught in again. The third dragon. They have 4 towers down. They have 4 towers down to,
But, you know what? I still think Wesley are going to lose because they don't have this. Oh wait, actually, was that the other team? I take it back. You're probably. I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore me. Anyway, moving on. Baron has just recently spawned. West up here, I'd like to see them look to exaggerate their lead by looking for this Baron, looking to set up vision control. They already do a little bit. They have that control in the pit. I'd like to see them extend that into McFarlane's jungle. Use their massive lead to get pushy, force vision control, and maybe look to start the Baron. They will take it pretty quick. They have a high DPS, but they don't even have to look to take it. They can just look to get vision and force McFarlane to face check into it. I would like to see. Actually, I think what they're doing is okay. Ideally, Trundle would have teleport and be in the side lane, but having Maldur up this is not bad either. With as big of a lead as they have, I don't think they need pressure in the side lane. They can just force their way to a Baron control and just top on tower potentially. Vlad's recalling though. I think they're getting a little aggressive. Vlad's off the map, and the rest of McFarlane is collapsing. I don't think Westville up here want to be this far up. They're looking for a fight, and I don't know if they can win it. Vlad's not here.
I don't know.
Sona's looking for. They think they cut out Sona, but she got her ult again. He's safe. Meanwhile, Gragas is going to fall to the Sivir. Sona is still alive. Hector's looking to bring the fight. That's another kill for Hector. He wants more. Lucian's going to fall. Justice for Garen. Garen picking up the kill. Vlad is here, but what can he do? It's a 2v5. He has to pull to get out. Vlad looking for the flash kill. Not going to quite find it. Still a 3 for nothing in favor of McFarlane. They're going to look to potentially go for this Baron. To be honest with you, I don't know what Westville up here were doing. I mean, it was good on McFarlane to capitalize on the 4v5, but you cannot be that far up without your Vladimir, man. McFarlane's looking to kick this fight.
I don't think McFarlane has a DPI.
Oh, this could be a dead troll. So he might have bought enough time. I don't think McFarlane can actually look to do this Baron anymore, but he gave his life in the process.
Vladimir was kiting around up to the top of Baron to kite them and give them enough time to come back and go ahead. So now it's how McFarlane are now starting to back, or they are starting to stick around.
Oh, Vlad looking for a kill. He's going to flash, put about, and that is a very, very dead Sona. I would love to see Westville up here use this to look for a Baron. Sona being dead is absolutely huge for them. Sona is McFarlane's biggest form of engage. Her ultimate is their really only reliable hard CC, other than I guess like Garen Q. So I would love to see Westville up here get a little aggressive after that kill. Doesn't seem like they're going to. They're opting to play a little bit safer, which again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. They have a scaling Vladimir. They have this massive lead. They don't need to play too aggressive. Wow, that was a lot of damage. Lucian getting caught by a cage, almost pays the ultimate price for it, but ends up getting out that spin of the sweep. Meanwhile, Vladimir stepping a little bit far forward. He's going to pull off, but Hecker might be looking for more. Psych! He's going to back out of that. So, Westville up here can use Lucian being chunked and recalling to kind of assert some more vision control in the top side jungle, but the Dragon should be spawning pretty soon, so...
What's here? The mountain dragons are how do you think that's going to look for
So, I don't know that it actually... The Oceans probably don't actually help the late game of Westville up here that much. McFarlane doesn't have like a poke, like... So, Ocean Dragons are best against like siege comps, right? Things that have like Xerath, like poke-heavy teams, Ezreal, things that are going to chunk you out and force you off a tower while staying away from you.
Sure, they may have gotten it just purely so that they didn't get it, obviously, but they don't want Vega to have control.
McFarlane's looking to take a fight. They see that the Vladimir is caught out. Trundle's going to fall before the ultimate comes in. Justice for Garen. Another kill going over to the Hecarim, and This is, they're looking for more. Tar could be caught up. They don't know he's there, but they see him now. He left the bush. Are they going to catch him? Not quite. They're going to look to pick a fight here, though. I don't think they're done quite yet. Soda still has their ultimate. They're looking for something. Hecarim's found Lucian, but Vida's still alive. Soda's still got her ultimate. Vida's going to eat that as soon as it comes out of his eye. Vladimir finds the kill on the Sona, but pays it enough to turn the fight. I think the balance is in this fight. I think they're playing too safe. A flash coming out from Lucian, and he almost dies, but he narrowly stays alive. Meanwhile, a 1 for 0. Well, ultimately a 1 for 1 if you include the Trundle getting caught up. But that little skirmish was more or less a 1 for 0 in favor of Westdale up here. Teleport coming in for Trundle. Westdale up here are not looking to get up this drag. They're looking to pick a fight on the Sitter. Sitter's forced to flash out. Trundle, I don't think you should chase this, but they can go ahead and just secure that dragon for free. And that's probably going to be an Infernal Dragon going over to Westdale. When does that happen again? I can't quite remember. Is it 30 minutes? I think it's 30 minutes. Yeah, I think 30 minutes is when that happens. So it used to be 35, then they pushed it up. I don't know.
That was like 30 or 35.
I think it used to be 35, but they changed it. Anyway, Westdale up here looking to seize mid-lane tower. Garen trying to force him off this tower. Their efforts are probably in vain. That if the tower is getting low, it's going to fall soon. I would like to see Westdale up here start pressuring the third. I think that's the ticket to winning this game and closing it out.
Yeah, Westdale here trying to pick up that tower and see him. They really want it, but they're not too greedy.
I think they should try to force a fight in the jungle over the Baron. This Vlad is absolutely huge. Meanwhile, Trundle's actually really deep. I think he's cut out. He might be falling here. He is going to fall here. Sona's got her ultimate. That guy is... He's going to flash out. It's not going to be enough. The Fear's going to find him. He's getting chased by the Garen. Is it going to be enough? He's buying so much time for his team to push. He's ultimately going to fall. First the flash from Hecarim. Meanwhile, Westdale appears looking to go for this Baron, but can they do it fast enough is the question on my minds. I don't think they can. We're going to find out, though. They're looking to start it. McFarland don't seem to have vision in this. They're not 100% sure it's happening, but where else are the members of Westdale up here? I think that Westdale here can win this fight. Tarkov coming out. They got a Tarkov is before the all comes out. Vlad is caught and killed. Lucian and Gragas forced to retreat. Meanwhile, Bruce Baron looks like it's probably going to go over to McFarland. Gragas is looking to maybe position himself for the skill. He does have smite up, but can he get the kill? Hecarim's looking to try to block him. He's stolen a Baron! He's going to die for it, but that is totally worth it. Baron buff going over to Westdale up here in the hero play from Gragas, saving the day. But to be honest, like these team fights from McFarland have been pretty convincing for the last, 5 minutes or so. Like, yeah. I don't know if the Baron will be enough. We'll see. There's still a good gold lead on the side of Westdale up here. They have all these dragons. Westdale up here definitely have the tools to win these fights, but they just aren't coordinating them properly.
And Westdale up here really only has to go in for the base turrets. So that's really where they have to go into now. You don't have any more towers to clear, unlike McFarland, where they still have the 2 top towers as well as the 1 bot and 1 mid.
Yeah, and that's the problem the Westdale up here are going to start running into. They don't have great seed, right? So they did manage to get this Baron, which is great for them. It's huge because they need that to siege. But it's not on all of their members, so they're going to have a hard time buffing multiple waves at once. And
it does look like McFarland is trying to be over rather than...
Yeah, so McFarland looking to stall out, wait for this Baron push to happen.
In terms of vision, they're not doing as good as last game. I'll give them out how they have been doing quite well in trying to secure each of their dragons. Now,
Sona getting chunked massively. Nice little poke there from... I'm not even sure what happened. Was it a Tarek stun instead of just like Lucian and Vlad?
Just being waste, to be honest.
Okay. So, Sona forced to flash out. Her not having flash is a quick actually. Sona caught up in the cage, but he's just going to walk in and out of there. This is a pretty good siege from the side of Westdale up here. They're buffing several waves at once. Trying to push top and bot lane.
Going to a 2-1-2, but it's kind of a fracture down on the bottom.
Hecarim's looking to shut these guys off power. Meanwhile, Trundle and Lucian are going to go ahead and secure themselves a 3 inhibitor. Good macro play on the side of Westfield here. But are they going to get punished for it? Trundle looks like he's caught out. He does get the pillar, but he ends up using it. Gets out. Sun all coming out. Not much. Okay, so 1 kill. Primordial blasting the tunnel, securing the kill, managing to punish him for taking that inhibitor, but I'm going to go ahead and say that it's totally worth losing your life to an inhibitor at this point in the game. Especially considering Western appears struggle in sieging. Having super minions pummeling the bot lane Nexus towers is going to be huge. Sona's doesn't have her ultimate. She's looking for this engage. I don't think Vlad had the flash out there. Sona didn't have R, but nice mind games from the Sona. Running at him like that, spooking the Vlad's flash out.
Looks like again, preparing to get that. Wow.
Yeah, Westfield up here look pretty positioned to secure the 5th dragon, which I don't believe is going to be an Elder Dragon, but the next dragon should be. Let's see, yeah, 4th dragon. So, Elder's at 35 minutes. So, Elder Dragon at 35 minutes. We'll see that spawning soon, I think. Yeah, next dragon's the Elder Dragon, alright. So, that'll be absolutely massive for Westfield up here if the game lasts that long. But Baron will be coming up relatively soon here as well, and I think Westfield up here are positioned incredibly well for a fight for Jungle. This hasn't been taken so far, but with as strong as this Vlad is, he's got 3 items completed. He has his Death Cap, he has his Zanya, he has his Proto Belt, he's 50 CS above the Vygar. Like, he's positioned incredibly strongly to carry these kind of close-knit fights.
We're seeing we're seeing low and mid high 200s. Yeah. Now whereas the McFarlane team, they're struggling to get up into that 200 range.
Yeah, across the board, Westfield here flexing stronger minion totals than McFarlane's for the lane, for their respective lanes. Trundle looking to split this with Hecarim and Sivir are looking to punish him for it. They're trying to catch him out. Sivir's popping her R, but Trundle's just going to walk away. Meanwhile, Vlad is looking to go in. He's going to secure the kill on the Sivir, on the Sona. The Primordial Burst comes out of the Gragas, but it's not going to find much. Meanwhile, the tower's going to go ahead and fall. Trundle's looking for more. He's trying to clear the Sivir. She's supposed to flash over it. They're going to go ahead and secure a second inhibitor and pick up 2 clean kills for themselves.
Man, 5 dragons, 8 towers. This is impressive.
Westfield up here are not done yet. They're looking to secure potentially a 3rd inhibitor before, I'm guessing, resetting to see if it's a Baron. But if they can pick up some kills here, they might not even kill now. Hecarim's going in, but he's certainly going to die for it, right? But insane tax, but doesn't quite make it out. Lucian's coming out so much damage. Meanwhile, Trundle is murdering the Garen. Lucian picks up a kill on the Sivir. That's an ace for Trundle, and ace for Westfield up here, and ends to McFarlane's hopes and dreams in this game. Flash speed coming out from the Gragas, secures the last kill on the Sona, and that's probably going to be the end of the game. Gragas is going to not quite fall to the tower. Minions are going to go ahead and secure that last tower, and the finishing nails are put in the coffin of that game by Westfield up here.
Good job, everyone.
Very convincing game for Westfield up here. I'll be interested to see how the drafts change moving forward. Westfield up here had a pretty well-rounded team comp. Their engage from Gragas was clean. I'll be interested to see if the Vladimir gets banned, if the Gragas gets banned. We'll see what happens.
All right, we are going to take a short break before we go on to our next stream, so we will be right back, everyone.
All right, coming into game 2 here. What? Okay, so coming into game 2 here, we just saw a pretty stellar performance from both teams. I think the biggest problem we saw was that both teams did end up top farming throughout the series. Both teams had pretty high averages in the mid lane and the top lane, and then eventually after the 20-minute mark, they both kind of just fell off. So I think that we could have definitely seen a bigger gold advantage for the side of West to pair if they were able to come out on top.
Yeah, you're saying it right. You're saying it right.
So starting off at the beginning, the respecting the Hecarim ban definitely caused the Gragas some trouble in the early game, just because of Hecarim's raw brawling potential with Conqueror.
I'm absolutely livid.
What's your name?
I'm Luke. I'm the coach for Culver Stockton College.
Sweet, sweet. So, my name is Kristen. I am one of the administrators for the Wisconsin High School Esports Association. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, I'm a community rep, basically.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we got sent back to Champ Select.
Looks like someone did decline now. What is going on here?
So they backed out
Yeah.
because they subbed in a player without letting know.
Oh.
Like they would
Well, we're going to go on break for a couple of minutes here. We ended up having technical difficulties, so we'll be back in around 2 or 3 minutes.
And we are back. It does look like we just had a short sub out. Hecarim was going to be the first ban by the West Pier team.
It's Draven out. Definitely respecting the ban. Gave Gragas a lot of trouble in the early game. Hecarim jungle is just a very strong pick right now. Definitely an understanding.
Oh, the last couple games, it was pretty bad though. So, glad to see that.
I'm absolutely livid.
The next pick. That is very respectable because C9, a Vapor here on the West Pier team, that is one of his mains, as well as Vlad. So.
Happy to ship this one out.
The Iverman coming out as well, I'm assuming that's just because they subbed in an Ivern player just now, or something of that nature. Someone who plays Ivern, because Ivern's not that popular right now.
Jungle capabilities, they're quite good.
The only problem is that you have to path properly on Ivern jungle, or you fall behind really, really hard early. So it'd be interesting to see a jungle pick with the current high school. Callista pick very early. I think the only problem I have with that is that Callista loses lane to a lot of different AD carries early. So picking it first is a little risky. They could pick something a little more lane dominant that can fight Callista. They actually back off and pick something that will just scale harder. So the current momentum that West to pair just set was, we're going to play for the mid game with our Callista power spike, and the response to that from McFarland was, we're going to play for late game.
Now, what's your experience with playing League of Legends?
So I've been playing League of Legends for about 2 years now. I play on the Culver Esports starting roster for their A team right now. I'm the top laner for them as well as the mid laner.
Sure.
So I also did some analytics work. I had trialed for Golden Guardians as an analyst a while ago when they were first created for their academy team. So I have a little bit of experience, mainly in like coaching analytics. The Yasuo pick also leads me to believe that they're also planning on just playing for late game. Yasuo is a pretty powerful pick early if he gets ahead, but Yasuo is that infinite scaling champion, so if something does go wrong early, McFarland definitely have the opportunity to just go back.
I do not tolerate cowardice.
And I know that they did take that Yasuo out from underneath straight up G23, because I do know that he does play that quite often, so very nice to see that.
I wonder if they banned Darius because that's a backup for straight up 22 on the top lane, or if that's just because they plan on playing also top and Darius is a very hard matchup. The Sandra band leads me to... Okay, I think that Westapair has decided that the Yasuo is going to be top lane because they chose to ban the Sanjo.
Pathetic!
The Fizz coming out as well, definitely an interesting pick. Yasuo does okay into Fizz early game, but as time goes on around the mid game, he definitely starts to fall behind a little bit. I think that's true. I think the game sounds really loud.
Once again, a woman's left unsatisfied.
The final ban was Evelyn, so interesting to see what they're going to pick into Sejuani here. Could be a Jax jungle, since I am expecting Yasuo to kind of go top here. I don't really foresee a Yasuo mid. But if it is Yasuo mid, then I definitely expect it to be Jax top, because usually you want to grab someone like a Gragas that has some synergy with the Yasuo mid, try to get a gank level 6 off. Looks like it'll be a Galio mid. Well, we'll see everything for sure in Champs League, but we could see a couple of things. It could be Galio support, Morg mid. It could be, Galio mid. And Yasuo top. It'd make a lot of sense with kind of the little combo they have going with the Galio and the Yasuo. Yasuo does very, very poorly into Renekton, so if it is Yasuo top, he's kind of in for some trouble here. Moving into the match itself, I think what's interesting is going to be the way that the Taric and the Kalista play. You are able to press Taric E as soon as you land, which means that you'll have a solid 1.5 seconds of stun duration, where you can get a decent amount of Kalista spears in your target. You can try for that Ren combo. Don't really have an answer to that bot lane other than Morg black shielding, but Morg can only choose one person to black shield, so the other person's going to get knocked up and going to get impaled.
Thank you, Rogue Panda, for the 50 bits.
Shut up, Brian.
Hey, you're on stage. You can't say that.
So also the jungle matchup. It looks like it's probably gonna be Jax. It's gonna be Jax versus Sejuani for the jungle matchup. Jax definitely outscales Sejuani very hard into the late game, and early game you can kind of brawl with her. One of the few junglers you can brawl with early.
You're buying me dinner. I'll buy you dinner.
The top lane matchup as well. Yasuo will eventually be able to fight Renekton, but I still think Renekton will be able to win either the 1v1 at all points of the game very handily with the new Spear of Shojin. It's just insanely strong. The attack speed bonus it gives you really synergizes well with the rage buildup. You end up getting so many abilities off. There's nothing Yasuo can really do with that, even when he does scale into late game, because Yasuo is just too squishy. So I think they're going to have to play the game very carefully on the side of McFarland. Yasuo is just never going to be able to match Renekton split as well. Someone's going to have to 2v1 the Renekton. So if Westapair can play it right, then they definitely have an advantage going into late game with the split.
Where we want to go for dinner and buy.
If there's time, we'll consider going to bed. Like, I may just be okay just going to bed. So, or at least getting to my buddy's couch.
I'm gonna get a hotel room and then I push up to shove.
Take the couch.
It left by that time. next game he's gonna take over for me. Is that okay with you?
Hmm? Alright, and the spectator delay does come to a close. We're able to see where everyone's kind of stationed. Looks like it's probably going to be Galio top, actually, versus Renekton, which is probably a rougher matchup than even Yasuo, because at least Yasuo can scale. There's no point in the game where Galio will be able to match the Renekton in a split, which means that they will just always be at a disadvantage. If Yasuo is the one matching Renekton, then that means that they won't have a TP to follow the Renekton as well. They'll have to rely on walking over there just because Yasuo doesn't have TP as Ignite. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. I don't really expect, as long as McFarlane plays this correctly, I don't really expect Westapare to be able to match a split at any point in the game, so.
We have heard you. Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Can I see both teams kind of hovering around the same little pixel bush? It looks like they're each going to invade different areas, though. Blue side is stacking down here. They're looking to kind of wrap around and shove them into this area. But it looks like McFarlane's actually going to try to invade the top side, so I'm sure they're going to be equally as confused when neither of them see each other.
Now, do you think, personally, would you say that the blue side has an advantage over Drake or over Baron?
I think that blue side has an advantage, I think, in both of them. McFarlane does objectives really quickly, but Callista has the Ren secure, so it depends on who starts it. Whichever team starts it will have an advantage, just because McFarlane does the fast lane very quickly, but Westapare have that Ren advantage. Looks like Jax is going to start blue, and it looks like Westapare is setting up for them, so we'll probably see some cheese here. Westapare most definitely went into level 1 fight.
I am your darkness.
Really flash away, Jax gets the stun off. Looks like they're just going to take the buff. Jax gets kind of messed up here. I don't really know what he plans. He might look for a smite steal, but if he does miss the smite, he 100% dies for it.
I like how they're kiting him away.
Oh, does get it. So Jax just wasted a bunch of time. He's kind of screwed right now. He doesn't really do much. He doesn't have to force start Wolves, which means that Sejuani has a big advantage. One of the best things you can do after invading is try to get a gank off of Vision, especially with the blue buff. And then after that, try to run over to your blue buff so you can try to secure a triple buff. Looks like Sejuani planned on doing that level 2 gank here. Just going to get a couple poke. And then right now, I would either walk up to Jax's red or I would walk up to your own blue. Looks like she's going to go for an invade once more. Galio's roaming over here with the Jax though, so it looks like this is not going to go very well. If Sejuani just immediately giving up and walking away, good decision. Yasuo's roaming over to help as well, Renekton's kind of following. Yasuo did get here first, but everyone's just going to kind of walk away. Galio missed a lot of CS there, Renekton's going to get more than Yasuo's going to get here, so an overall net positive for the blue side actually.
Watching the previous games?
I haven't seen any of the games of Westapare and McFarlane except for the last one.
So how do you feel like there's for vision?
So I feel like Westapare had superior vision throughout the last game just because they had lanes with more prio. Vladimir was able to roam and Vigard just wasn't able to match that, so mid lane they just had more vision priority. Same thing for top lane, they had Trundle which was splitting basically all game. Sure. So Trundle being able to split means that he's able to walk into different places that Garen just couldn't because he was under turret the entire time. So I think you're going to see the opposite this game though, where you definitely have Renekton beating Yasuo on the split. So we'll see what happens. Yasuo is not necessarily out of the conversation for winning a split, but we'd have to see some pretty decent footwork from Yasuo. Top lane is just kind of on an island right now. Neither of them are looking to trade with each other for fear of getting each other too low. It's important to note that Yasuo does have Ignite here, and Renekton does not. So Renekton usually would smash this matchup, but I think he's just a little apprehensive of the Ignite advantage. Galio does pretty well versus Fizz. The only problem is if Galio plays aggressive and he loses the matchup. So You'll notice how Mafrey is playing super passive. The second that name downloading was to engage upon him, he would be able to fight back and retaliate, but it's very important that you play the matchup slow. As you see, with Fury's going to go for a trade after Tug. But name downloading should be looking to trade now because he has no abilities up. So ideally, name downloading dodges that with his E. I just don't think he was ready for that. Both teams just kind of farming out. We do see that blue side definitely is farming better. Like I was talking about, Renekton kind of smashes this lane, so Yasuo just has to play super passive. Already down 16 CS, that's a pretty big difference. Ooh, did take a tower shot there. Kind of made the trade not worth it. A little bit of a scuttle on the bot side jungle there between Sejuani and Galio. Not much happening, kind of walking and looking at each other. We see just an absolutely massive CS advantage between the two teams here. Renekton and Fizz just up an insane amount of CS this early into the game. I think you'll see this throughout the rest of the game as well. I do know that the top laner and the mid laner from the side of McFarlane don't really CS that well per minute, so... Ooh, we just see a tower against Sejuani running to mid lane on the Jax. Jax is hit by the fish, and Sejuani goes in and sends the Jax, and that is a kill over to the blue side. Pretty clean combo there. We just missed it on the camera, but Taric did walk up with Sejuani here. They walked over vision, so it's definitely on Palison's end. Definitely his mistake, but Taric did link up to the Sejuani just in time to get that yell. Now we're starting to see bot lane kind of get a little bit of an advantage. I think it's only like 6 or so, because after Jinx collects this wave, she should be able to get a lot more. Unless she messes up part of the wave. Renekton gets a pretty big recall here. The gold value on Renekton is currently 400 more than Yasuo, so that's a pretty big difference this early into the game for sure. Ooh, really good back shift from Borg there. Looks like they are going to all-in Taric. He does get ignited, but Callista's trading pretty heavily back onto the Jinx. A ton of backpings here from the Sejuani. They saw her walk over that ward. She's going to clear the control ward. Jax is in his top side, so this is still a pretty free steal, unless the bot lane reacts to it. Looks like they're starting to walk on over. Sejuani can probably handle this. She should be able to just take this and get out with Smite probably, or not. She could probably like to time the Jinx as well. I think she just has to go out. Barney's rotating over. They might like to fight over this wall here. Definitely does look for it. Jinx flashes away. Calista flashes after her, does get some arrows up. The Ren will not kill her at this HP. There's a couple more spears in there. Looks like she might be able to find it. There it is, the kill that goes over to Calista. Ooh, missed the top lane action there. Jax getting the kill there is kind of unfortunate. I would have liked to see it on Yasuo, just so Yasuo can at least try to match Renekton's pressure. But this should equalize the gold value a little bit more up there in top lane and hopefully be able to keep them on top. Blue team is looking for an early Baron. Dragon, like we were talking about, either side does get Cryo over Dragon as long as they start it because they both do it insanely quick. In early game, I think blue side definitely has the advantage because closest friend is too powerful. Oh, Galio making a big mistake. Gonna get flashed. The fish does catch him. This probably will be another kill over to the blue side. Let's see who can give it to. Oh, Taric takes it. Well, that's not the best thing that could have happened there. But definitely a good catch out there. Galio tried to steal the dragon with his Q, even though they had Rend and Smite available. Definitely not going to happen there in Afri. I applaud you for trying, but you ended up getting yourself killed. Renekton and Yasuo kind of just trading up here. Renekton has no abilities now, so Yasuo should look to trade. He could definitely look to fight there just because we saw Renekton have no abilities available. As soon as he uses his QWE combo, then Yasuo can look for trades, but up until then, there's nothing you can do. There you go, Nana and dodging that with his E just like that. Ends up costing the Galio a ton of mana. Doesn't see Jax coming though. He definitely walked over a ward just now as well. Getting some early damage on the Fizz. Fizz does have to respect flash away. Does you on top of him with the stun. Galio does hit the knockout. Doesn't have a W to secure him. Fizz does E away and he is protected. Oh! Jinx Rocket does hit name downloading while he is recalling, not paying attention. Probably could have dodged that with his E. There's some action going on in the bot lane. Morgana is kind of walking a little aggressively. She walked over Vision, which means, okay, she is going back passively over the control ward. Yeah, this bot lane, like we were talking about, Kalista is definitely a better AD carry early on to the game unless Jinx gets ahead. She didn't get that far ahead, so she'll definitely scale harder than Kalista will, but for the time being, she's just not quite there. Good back shield there from Morgana there. Galio's still kind of walking forward, might take some Q chunk. Everyone dodges all the skill shots there. Galio's kind of flexing on them. Ooh, they might like to take this through the kill. Big something check. The ultimate comes out. A little bit of kill Morgana with that Ren. Does hit the Galio first so he gets his on Galio. Looks like he's going to be able to get the damage on Galio with the Ren. Misjudges his damage a little bit. Can't go for the Jinx kill there as well, but does get a double kill in a 2v3 situation. That's absolutely tragic for McFarlane. Jax looking for a kill or next one here. There are absolutely no wards if you're on the top side. This will probably be a kill over to... Oh! Absolutely great E predict there from the Yasuo. Good follow up by the Jax with a flashed QE, and that does bring a kill back to McFarlane. Currently setting a score of 5-3. The gold lead, however, is 3.6k. The Dragon, the extra Fongo we were talking about, definitely adding up. Even looking at the jungle CS, the jungle CS is a very big disparity right now. One of the cool functionalities about Kalista's Kit is that while you're in lane phase, you can auto-attack a minion and bring it to just 1 HP in the back lane, and then you can look to auto-attack your lane opponent. So when you rend, your rend resets and gets a slow off. You get the CS, you get the mana refund, the cooldown refund, and you get some extra damage on your lane opponent. And the slow is pretty nice. Ooh, so Sejuani did steal that from Jax there. Jax is definitely not happy about that, but there's not much he can do. Jax is building into Cinder Hulk here. I think he's probably going to end up going into Trinity Force after that. Kind of a wonky build. Usually you want to finish your either Trinity Force or your Cinder Hulk first. You usually don't want to spec into both of them. The classic bait push here. No vision here on the side of McFarlane. We were talking about this, how McFarlane was going to struggle with vision this game, purely because of the lanes with priority, and then, you know, same exact thing happens. Left parry does take advantage of that. Ooh, Royal does hit for the tap there to connect. Tech cannot stun, and that leads to a Jinx flash. Looks like they're going to give it over to Fizz here. Fizz getting a blue buff is pretty important. Jinx is getting 4-man. She has vision of it, but that doesn't really mean anything else is going to happen here. All she has is heal left. She's going to dodge skill shots here. She's going to take care. She's going to get stunned by that, and that is definitely a kill over the side of West Japan. Repeat gank on the top lane, same as they found that happened last time. He has another E to probably get away. They might look for a Terra deck here. Good flash, could have flashed on top of them and done a WQ combo and probably traded over a kill, but definitely respect the safe and defensive play. Another Dragon Secret for blue side. Looks like the only weakness of the West Pair team right now is going to be the Renekton in the top lane. He's still kind of lagging behind of the Yasuo. I think he's still beat Yasuo in a split 1v1, but Jax hasn't paying enough attention top lane so that it doesn't matter. So now looking into the mid-game point of view, we're kind of out of the laning phase for the bot lane of West of Pair, which means that they have a couple of options. One of them is roaming top lane. There's no dragon to secure as they already finished that objective twice. So they can either roam mid and break Fizz out, or they can roam top and break Renekton out. Ideally they would lane swap, which I think is what's about to happen right now. Kalista's walking topside. Doesn't have her Taric with her right now, which is a little sketchy, but there's not a whole lot going on yet. Currently Taric is walking up there. It looks like McFarlane's going to take the other option I said and actually just shut out mid lane with the Galio here. He's going to end up roaming up there as well. Morgana might be looking just for a pick onto Kalista here at the Yasuo. Kalista does have both of her summoners available, so she can probably outplay this. Oh, they catch Vision of Jinx walking over a ward, which means that Kalista's going to play really passive. Yasuo doesn't take that R. They probably could have looked for a kill. If Yasuo would have taken his R, Morgana definitely had a Q available. Just got a skirmish up here, 4 people top lane. Like we're talking about, Renekton's kind of bot lane splitting right now. This is the best option for him currently, as he's not worth a lot of gold, and you know, he doesn't have a lot of gold on him, so not a whole lot you can do. Definitely itching for a fight up here in the mid lane. Main doubling doesn't dodge it with his being fused backwards. Little risky, but does get out okay. You see the Taric walking up here. He also is definitely caught up here. Doesn't have back shield available. Morgana's just at the Q. Ooh, Fizz does not have Fizz on the Galio, however, he won't be knocked out because of the block shield. Kind of saves him from that situation. Fizz still going for the aggro. Morgan's flash, Galio is on him. Q hits the Taric, however, he's not in the tower. Ooh, we missed the bot lane, but Jax did 1v1 the Renekton. It looked like Renekton was shoving away under tower and Jax caught out there. They do trade a Taric on their mid lane. Looks like Macari's kind of caught out again. Same situation that happened earlier. Jax wants a fair man in and just not go in on it. Definitely a good decision. He most definitely would have died if he took that. Jax is kind of running over here for the turret here. Looks like they might try to go for a fight here once the signal gets here. Sivani is thinking. He also does Windwall the wrong direction, doesn't block anything. The Taric does come out and hits all. Almost all 4 members, 3 of them. Jax is going to turret that. Blissey has been out for a kill. Jinx is going to probably get a kill into the Jinx here. Does secure the kill. Looks like Jinx might be able to go for a couple more. It's a little risky. Close to this ult. So the Taric back in, double stun into another dart, double stun, good flash from Sejuani. This is a multiple kills over to the side of West of Pair. The Galio does come in, but won't find anything much currently. It looks like that's just an absolute massive loss from McFarlane. West of Pair is playing the series really well right now. The Kalista is scaling out of her mind. Jinx can simply just not keep up. Yep, the CS, like I was talking about earlier, is kind of going to do the same exact thing. We look at the values of characters relative to each other, and we see that Kalista's almost worth twice as much as Jinx is worth. So that's just a CS advantage, skill advantage. Looking to the top lane, even though Renekton's died 3 times, the CS advantage means that he's still technically worth more gold than Yasuo. The CS advantage is almost reaching 10,000 gold. A big problem that I think, well, we'll explain why McFarlane has such, you know, lower CS than West of Pair is having, and West of Pair isn't even CSing that perfectly. There's still a lot of CS they're missing, but the most important thing is thinking about, you know, like who's catching top wave, who's catching mid wave, who's catching bot wave. They're not really coordinated right now. We see a scrap going on in mid lane. Yasuo's on the... Fizz does die there. Very quick double from Yasuo. Ended up holding the EQ because he thought Fizz was going to, you know, E away, but he actually didn't. Taric's kind of caught out here as well. Just stunned like a dead. The Taric's kind of useful. That's definitely a good Taric. I think we're seeing West of Pair getting a little too aggro here and not really respecting the forces of McFarlane right now. Being a little cocky. They already get secure betrayal the objective, which is really nice. Oh, it's not going to hit by a ward here. That will be a dead Kalista, a dead Renekton, and this is a 4-for-0 on the side of McFarlane. Oh, looks like Jack's not going to turret. Oh, he's going to be okay. Wow, it's 4-for-0, 2 turrets, and they're still going. This is definitely an inhibitor turret to the side of McFarlane. What a ton of events, a 5,000 gold power play. They might be able to get secure inhibitor here as well. Oh, it looks like they're about half the
That inhibitor.
A 5k gold power play from the side of McFarlane. Definitely able to recognize when they can extend for more, and when it's time to, you know, kind of pull back the range a little bit. Instead of greedy for inhibitor and potentially using, you know, the advantage, they just shot themselves. And it's like, yeah, they go try to secure the space. Might look risky here. Way too late. This is something that's kind of a dangerous situation here. Looking at item-wise, Jinx still only has an Infinity Edge. She hasn't reached her Zeal power spike. Once she gets 3 items, you know, it's the classic 3-item Jinx, game's over. Kalista already hit her Bork and Ginsu's power spike, so Kalista's scaling probably into like next game. But Jinx is still kind of stuck behind in last game currently. The Galio does have his Rod of Ages, so he's a little tanky, but Rod of Ages is a very misleading Galio build currently. It does give you some HP, and it looks like you're tanky, but at the end of the day, if the fish R hits you from a mile away, you're going to end up getting one shot anyways, because there's just no resistances on the item. So that's why usually you'll see Galios go Proto Belt into something like a Zanya's. More of a Valimir kind of build.
We're going to see that both of them are taking each other on quite seriously. Despite the occasional poke here and there between the front and I feel like.
Yeah, they're able to recognize when they're, pushing too hard, and I know that when I was playing in the CLO season this year, one of our biggest themes was constrict, and then release a little bit, and then constrict harder. So we had a very big problem where we would constantly overextend and push too hard. We see, like, the perfect ace team fight, and then we secure Baron and end the game right then and there. Whereas we could have just restricted and pulled back to like, we're getting turrets over here. Some of this is running and Renekton. There's not really a whole lot you can do. They're both just so tanky. Whereas in the top lane, probably just get ulted by Kalista. I wish they would have communicated that a little better. Only one of them needed to use ultimates there, I think, so they ended up both using them. Kind of a waste of a cooldown, but not the biggest deal in the world. They are trading bot turret for the skirmish top lane. Looks like they're going to stop Yasuo's recall in the top lane. That was kind of caught out here. I think he might be able to win this 2v1, honestly, since he doesn't have ultimates currently. Looks like he is not going to go for it, however. Renekton and Sejuani are definitely scrapping out this bot lane, though. Jax is going to look to try to catch them out, it looks like, and he's actually going to pull back and deal with his mid lane. This is kind of caught here himself. So here you see kind of, the example of constricting and pulling back a little bit that I was talking about. They're able to pressure, in 1, 2, 3 different areas, and McFarlane's kind of like, oh, we're going here, oh, we're top lane, we have to recall. And they can't really make up their minds on exactly what to defend and what to push, which means that this gives Westapara a huge advantage.
Midlane still does look quite open regardless for both teams and how far Westapara is pushing up. So it still could be theoretically anyone's game. However, we want to make sure that.
So looking at vision right now, we see that red team has very solid control over their own jungle here after clearing out a couple of wards here. And when we take a look at blue side has almost no vision. They only have vision in this topside jungle, and they have multiple control wards down here. These control wards, and we're not going to place this one, these control wards do absolutely nothing for them. They need these control wards over here in this jungle. Looks like they're finally recognizing, hey, we have no vision, guys. We should definitely secure vision on Baron. When you're this far ahead, you're now amassing an even bigger building than when you just had because of the CS difference we were talking about. This is what you need to do. And, we were talking about this earlier. They definitely have fire with the Kalista end. They are going to look to steal this and see what happens. Oh, losing the security with the Run Smite combo. The Jax is actually bot lane carrying vision, I think. Sejuani does find the Morgana as well as the fish. Looks like that's a free pick for them. Right now it's a 4v5. They also have Baron to shove. This is looking very rough for McFarlane. We're back to that 9.6k gold advantage we were at earlier. That power play that they made mid lane is kind of irrelevant at this point. They're not CSing on the Jinx. The Jinx isn't getting fed. There's not really a whole lot they can do right now. They're definitely, kind of like, they don't really know their purpose this game. Like, what's the answer to what's happening? We see Kalista split pushing on her own because no one enemy can match her. She's just kind of spiraling out of control. Attack element goes down on all 5 of the Westapara team. Looks like they can't really do much with it. Definitely stay out from going in. The next team does get hit by that find. Goes for a stun. This is going to be an absolutely massive Galio ult here. Looks like this is an advantage in favor of the Farland here. Galio has a big challenge with the Kalista. Kalista is counting very well. Attack goes from the Galio. The Galio can advance onto the Kalista. That's with his flash. Absolutely massive flash from Galio. My name Battling is trying to escape this. I don't think he'll be able to get away from the Jax, so just flash away. I think that secures it.
Realizing he has 5 deaths, only 1 kill. He can't keep going putting on too much pressure, but it is still an important aspect of their team.
Yeah, Renekton, like we were talking about, I told you that Renekton probably won't ever win the split versus Yasuo, but what's important to know is that he's not going for the Spear of Shojin. With the playstyle that he's doing right now, it's... Oh, this is a little scary. We're going to just hit... Does hit the root there and Sejuani. Sejuani forced a flash over the wall. I think she had Q available, which is why this plays a little sketchy. Deadman's plate movement speed might help her get out of the situation, but it's looking a little sticky right now. Does get smoked by Jax. Q's over the wall. Jax can't follow that right now. Looks like she's just kind of running circles around them. Might, like, you know, play around and try to get them dragon by messing with the inhibitors. Looks like that's what's about to happen. She's just kind of baiting them around, walking in circles. She's regenerating HP and moving the minions with the Baron buff upwards, which is really nice. They can probably secure the dragon right now once Callista gets there. They're still looking for the Sejuani, however. They're still kind of chasing her. Dead Man's play definitely coming handy there. They're still, you know, using a lot of resources here to try to catch it out. Just like the son of Morgana. Morgana's not Black Shield in time. Here comes the Black Shield now. Looks like Morgana is cut out, and that will definitely be a Drake secure for the blue team. They might look to just push their inhibitors. Red team is forced to retreat here.
Now, are you looking to go into Shellcast professionally as well?
It's an option. I think I'm more of a coach or an analyst, so I don't think I probably will, but I'm definitely having a lot of fun, you know, shoutcasting with my friends.
And how many words do you speak per minute?
Around 400. I was on a debate team, so
okay, there you go.
I was in Lincoln Douglas debate, which is purely just speaking as fast as you can. So one of our trainings was making sure we speak really fast.
Being a good auctioneer too.
Auctioneers speak at 350 words per minute. I got them beat.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to imagine that, and you at just about 400.
Yeah. Archer is going to hit it. This gets caught out. Gets it stunned again. Definitely a good Zanya. We're taking way too much damage. Dex is on the Callista. Callista's stunned up. Just looking like Galleon killed. That is very unfortunate for the blue side. Jinx will flash in and try to get resets here. Gets a reset. Does not get excited off that last one though, because she did not participate in the kill. And, you know, we kind of see West up here having these advantages for team fights. Gets Baron, secures a pick, and then extends, and then gets, you know, hit by a Morg Bind, hit by a Jax stun. Jax gets a flank. Yep. I really think that, you know, West up here should invest in a QSS and Callista for sure, because it looks like the second she gets stunned, there's just not much they can do about it. You have so much in your kit to dodge these skill shots, you can't let that happen to you, you know?
So what's something that you guys look for at the call of each other?
So what specifically? Like, what do you mean?
And so you look at team comp, you look at for position, you look at this overall game history, probably that, yeah, but
I think we look at a little bit of everything. When we're determining whether or not we'd like to take you into our college, we kind of drop the whole, what rank are you, how much experience do you have. It's more about, you know, can you work with a team? Have you played on a team before? Do you play any sports at all? Can we teach you the game? For our varsity team, we'll only take people who have obviously played League, and you have to be, I think, silver or higher. But the average elo of our last varsity league team was flat 2, I think. So we have a fairly high average. In collegiate, the average is somewhere around like D4, so somewhere around there. Game knowledge-wise, not a big deal because we can teach you a lot of those kind of things. So we're mainly just looking for, can you play on a team? Jax is kind of oversending here. Fizz is there to try and catch him out. Jax is very tempting to pop the ultimate though. Looks like they're just kind of pushing this turret here. Let's see if they learn from their mistakes and they're able to deal with the CC. He's looking for a tower dive, goes out to the Morge Q. He's taking a couple more damage from Jinx sales with him. Not a big deal. Brings turret instantly with Demolish. Yasuo might be looking for an engage here. Doesn't block anything with the Black Shield. It hits the knockup. Ooh, barely misses the knockup. We see Renekton. Remember we were talking about the Galio's just never able to match the Renekton correctly? This is a prime example of the situation happening. 2 levels up, even though Renekton's, you know, not really that far ahead. There's not much Galio can do other than Q the wave. Back to top lane here, we kind of see how this fight's playing out. It's very much so, you know, looking at each other, seeing who's going to make the first move, who's going to make the first mistake. Can Morg hit a bind? Can Sejuani get an ultimate? Whatever. Whoever hits the CC first is usually who will win the fight. We don't see, you know, I would have probably taken clones this game on Callista because they're playing versus Morgana and Jax. I think that would have been a very good buy. You wouldn't have to invest 1300 gold into a QSS. But I think you're at the point right now where you have so much damage, Callista doesn't need to do more damage, she needs to live longer. So Callista's pretty infamous in the AD carry world for being able to build Randuin's, Frozen Mallet, just survivability items after her first 3 items. But it kind of looks like she's going for more damage with maybe like an Infinity Edge is what I'm thinking she's building next. So I'd like to see her build something more defensive. Next time by a stun and just put stun to the wall. Looks like he's definitely going to cut out here. Keep him for Callista, does die to this Sejuani. Directing the teleport there just to kind of make sure that the Jax died there. It looks like they're just going to secure the Baron here. With no smite and no way to, you know, contest this Baron, I don't foresee this going well for McFarland. Things that you can do in this situation are kind of shove mid as fast as you can and make sure you don't get a lot out of it. You can try to maybe throw a Gallo here as well and see what you can get, but with the Rend and smite combo, unless they mess it up seriously, there's not a lot you can do. Ooh, heal from Jinx, so kind of scared this is running coming over the wall. I would have been equally as scared. Looks like the blue team isn't going to take their time to back, even though a couple of members have quite a bit of gold. At least everyone has at least 1,000 gold except for Renekton here. Would have been probably worth it just to take a quick little shop, get Callista maybe a BF sword or a QSS. She has perfect gold for it. kind of a missed opportunity to make sure that you can finally secure and clinch this team fight. I think West the pair is getting a little anxious right now that they're not ending the game by 30 minutes. Jinx finally got her renowned hurricane. She's building into more damage, so they're a little scared of that. But, you know, she's not doing enough damage to be too terrified about yet. What I think is most important is that you can finally secure this team fight.
So we were talking last week. When does the Elder Drake spawn? At 30 or 35?
It spawns at 30. Okay, so the way that it works is that it has to spawn at 35 minutes. So if you kill a dragon within the spawn timer of a dragon, 5 minutes. So dragons will spawn up until 30 minutes. And the second you kill the 30-minute dragon, or whatever that dragon was, then the Elder Dragon spawns. So it spawns at 35 at the earliest, quote unquote, but that's because the last dragon can spawn at 30 minutes. But you can have, you know, like a baby dragon there until like the 38-minute mark, because you haven't killed it yet, so as soon as that dies. Like right now you see how that dragon won't spawn by 35 minutes, so there's another ocean drake to be had. But if they would have killed it at 30 minutes, then an Elder Drake would have spawned. Which is better for the blue side in technicality. Now they get the chance at another objective for free. So we are seeing now above a 10k gold lead to the side of West Pair. However, if we look at their gold values again, they finally went back in a recall. And Kalista bought a BF sword instead of a BFS, which is kind of disappointing, but we see a flank up here. Diaspora is kind of looking for something more tricky to find. Goes up with Tarek by himself. Tarek does flash away from the ward through the sun. This is a very good fight for West Pair, however. But guys caught out in the middle of a Galleon. Galleon just went a lot better with this taunt, however, it's just not enough. Kalista is so powerful at this point. He also has a massive Q. Galleon just flashed out, but he's still kind of cut up on this connection that there's. If this can follow up, Tarek ults onto the Jax. Looks like Jax is going to go down the Kalista. The Jax side is going to be very hard to keep. Especially healers just to make sure she's not going to have a turret. And this will most definitely secure the series for West Pair. That's a GG. Definitely a hard-fought series from both teams. I think the most important thing that you can take away from this is the CS and how important getting minions is to a team. We saw that even though they were kind of neck and neck in kills, we had like a 6,000 gold advantage to one side just because they're hitting the minions and the other team isn't.
All right, we'll be getting the third game here in a little bit. We are going to go on a short break, and then I'm going to switch off into a another shoutcaster, and then we will be right back.
And we're back with the third game of the series. We do see West appear up 2-0 right now. You know, pretty commanding leads in both of these games. The last game we looked at the Western players looked to struggle a little bit at the end of the series and closing the game out. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I watched most of the last game, and I thought that overall there were some things that they could have done better.
Draven out.
So, for example, well, let's talk about things they did well, right? So they had the early CS leads. They did a good job of maintaining.
No cure for fools.
Because they were Renekton on top lane. They had a good lead on the Renekton. They didn't have quite as great of an early game mid game, or mid lane. Sorry.
I'm absolutely
I'm brain
livid.
blanking on the second half of the game. I don't remember what happened.
Well, the second half of the game, we saw a very consistent flow of Morgana Qs into the Callista, which meant that that was a very hard fight for them to win after Callista was released. I think what's important to know is that as Callista, there's not a lot of excuses for you to get hit by more Q unless you're playing versus an absolute legend. Like Afremu, who can predict the Callista Q jump, right? You have so many tools in your kit to dodge that Morgana Q. There's not really an excuse for you to get hit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And nothing and I would say that when you're playing from a position where you're so far ahead and you're a carry, right? It's so important that your positioning is consistently safe. You can't be getting caught by that stuff. If you get caught by those Morgana bindings, when you have such a massive front line to hide behind, when you have those big tanks, when you have a Renekton, when you have a Sejuani, and you can just like kind of sit back and auto, there's really no excuse for setting up that fight.
Exactly, especially when you have things that punish you so hard, such as Jax EQ, Morgana Q, you know, a Galio EW combo. There's so many things that can punish you for overextending on a champion that, you know, Callista doesn't have a lot of auto attack range, but she has enough. You don't need to be so far forward. You know, when they engage on you while you're trying to, you know, take an objective, take a turret, that's when you can try to make a play. But up until you get to the point where they're engaging on you, you don't need to force onto them. The comp that McFarlane was running was very good about being engaged on and then carrying that fight. They weren't so good as engaging and being the person to start that fight. So taking advantage, you know, understanding what your team comp's good at, what your team comp isn't good at is a very big part.
I would agree with that. So moving into the next game here, we see, do you know which team is on? Like,
yep, McFarlane's on the right side here with the Ken and Alistar, and West is on the left side.
Awesome. So West Dupree looks like they're spicing things up a little bit. West Dupree, looking to spice things up a little bit. They have the Rek'Sai pick coming out. Rek'Sai is an extremely contested jungle pick right now. Rek'Sai is very good. S-tier jungler. Sejuani, massive hardline. Looks like Rek'Sai is actually going to be in a lane. I'm guessing top lane Rek'Sai, which I haven't seen before, so I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I definitely don't understand. It could be Sejuani top as well. You see more Sejuani top than you do Rek'Sai top.
Don't see a lot of either, to be honest.
Yeah, there was a period where Sejuani top was being played a lot. I know I played that in one of my
What's the worst that could happen?
But it had its popularity for like a week and then it died out and no one played it anymore.
Who dares
So
defy my
what's going
will?
on in the heads of West Pair here.
On the side of McFarlane's, they have already a very tanky front line with the Alistar and the Rammus. They also have a Kennen coming in, which I'm going to go ahead and guess would be top lane.
Could be mid lane as well, but
it could be.
there is potential.
So don't want to assume too much yet. Assuming it is a top lane Kennen, I can't see having many problems with the lane, whether it's Rek'Sai or Sejuani. So
I could see Kennen having some problems with Sejuani once she hits level 3. But if you take Kleptomancy, and as long as you E when she goes for a Q, so you don't take as much damage, there shouldn't be a lot of damage in your combo. Definitely, you know, locks in as a Kennen top now. We see the Talon mid being locked in.
Talon locked in, uber aggressive mid lane pick. I kind of like this from McFarlane, looking to try to get progressive in the early game, or get proactive in the early game.
I kind of like this from the free. I like the Talon pick, but I think the only problem you'll see is that the Nico pick was absolutely insane into the team composition that McFarlane's trying to put together. If you're going to engage on a Nico will press R, and you will feel the wrath.
Yeah, that's a good point. How does Talon actually get onto their team? They have Fiddlestick Sphere, they have Sejuani ult, Sejuani Q, Nico
Rek'Sai
Snare, Nico
knockup.
R.
So I like the ability to be proactive with the Talon, you know, get in and eliminate that AD carry, but it looks like they've done a pretty darn good job of making that AD carry very hard to get to.
Right, yeah, I would agree with that. Speaking of the AD carry, there isn't one.
Looks like it's a decoy AD carry. So it looks like it could be a Rek'Sai bot lane? Could be a Darius bot, I suppose?
I'm going to go ahead and guess Rek'Sai. What if it's a Darius mid lane as a counter pick to the Talon?
It could be, I suppose. I think we won't know until I know what the names are and where the names go, so I'll be able to tell in a little bit here. Looks like it's a Nico AD carry. Name demoing is the mid laner, so it looks like it's a Rek'Sai mid as a counter pick to the Talon.
A preemptive counter pick. These guys got spunk.
So it looks like that it'll be a Rek'Sai mid lane versus Talon. I don't mind that too much, I guess. The only problem is that Rek'Sai has no poke. So unless Talon does go for a Q combo, Rek'Sai is going to feel, you know, especially early game. Talon doesn't always go for a combo for a trade. Usually you'll see 2 rotations of a W poke and then a WQ auto ignite trade for a kill. So unless Rek'Sai can find a way to deal with that, you know, Rek'Sai is going to definitely struggle throughout her lane phase.
Rek'Sai no poke? I'd just like to say AP Rek'Sai. Thank you.
AP Rek'Sai's Q has changed, so it doesn't have AP scaling
What?
anymore.
Okay, I remember that now that you say that. That's sad. Never mind.
So AP Rek'Sai is not anything that you can play, folks.
Unlucky.
Please don't play AP Rek'Ai.
Don't do. Bad idea.
I will say that, you know, the Rammus jungle combined with the Alistar does make for a pretty beefy backline. A beefy front line, but you don't exactly have, you know, that stable of a backline, really. Because you have a Talon who wants to go in and surpass their front line. You have a Kennen who wants to engage with you guys. The only thing you have behind you, really, is a Kai'Sa. You know, that's not something to be beefy for. Kai'Sa has enough survivability, enough mobility. You don't necessarily need a beefy frontline for it. I would expect it more of a hyper carry, maybe a Jinx. Maybe something more like even a Kalista again would have been pretty nice here. You know, you have an Alistar, so you can definitely make use of the Kalista Alistar combo. Kai'Sa Alistar is also a nice lane, so that's not a big deal. But I just feel like, you know, there's a little bit more potential they had for their team comp.
So my criticism I would have of West Dupree is I wonder if they're going to have the damage they need to actually, like, cut through the tanks to get to the Kai'Sa in these late game fights. Because they drafted without, like, a whole lot of... Really, all their DPS is going to be coming from the Nico and I guess the Rek'Sai, but in late game fights, it's so hard for Rek'Sai to actually get to where she's trying to go and deal the damage she's trying to get out.
Well, I think in this situation, I don't think they need to worry about getting on top of the Kai'Sa. I think they just worry about playing it like a front to back. You know, they don't have a lot of... The Nico is, you know, probably going to go AD. If they don't go AD, then they're kind of in a lot of trouble. But I'd expect the Nico to go AD, and in that situation, you know, they have the ability to deal damage as people come onto them. You know, Rek'Sai can disrupt that engage, Darius can disrupt the engage, Fiddlesticks can disrupt the engage. I feel like they recognized after they picked Kennen and Alistar, alright, they're not going to play a passive comp like they played last game because it didn't work. McFarlane's going to try to be really aggressive, so in response to that, they picked a composition that will be able to peel off that engage. So I think as long as they play it correctly, I think the composition probably favors the blue side here. We won't know for sure until we get into the game and we see how they play it out, but there's definitely a lot of potential on both sides, you know, skill outplays. If Kennen can just absolutely decimate the Darius in lane, that'll be really, really good for the side of McFarland. You know, if Talon's able to shut down Rek'Sai, similar.
And that is a favorable lane for the Kennen. I would expect Kennen to have priority in that matchup. I would probably also expect the Talon to have priority mid over Rek'Sai, at least early game. I'm not really sure how that lane ends up going later, but early game I would expect the Talon to be able to roam. So McFarlane will definitely have a window early to mid game to kind of make things happen and get Rammus rolling around and make some plays happen, secure some objectives, try to get the game snowballing in their favor.
I think what's also going to be an interesting thing to see is that as soon as Talon leaves lane, Rek'Sai has the ability to just burrow and see where he's going. Before he actually goes, you know? So, like, if he does decide to leave lane while Rek'Sai is there and try to roam somewhere, all Rek'Sai has to do is press W and, you know, see where his footsteps go and where they end, you know? So I think that's kind of an important... I don't know if they were thinking that was a counter to Talon, was seeing where he roams and they're able to readjust to where they plan on going.
Do you think they expected the Talon pick?
I'm not really sure. I think that they definitely picked Sejuani and Rek'Sai in the same slot. So... maybe it was something they were anticipating. You know, Powson wanted to play more of a proactive mid laner, or maybe he has some talent gains in his match history. But I think if you're going to go ahead and invest, you know, a Rek'Sai mid pick, you had to have been expecting something that Rek'Sai would do well into.
Yeah. Or you just don't care. You're just confident enough in your abilities, I guess. We're loading onto the rigs here. So I don't notice anything too out of place as far as his masters go. Kenan did go ahead and grab Kleptomancy as you suggested he do in Champion Select.
Definitely recommend Kleptomancy Kenan. Very, very strong. Looks like the blue side is going to try to invade. And it looks like red side's gonna go.
They're gonna match the invade head
They're
on?
not going to match, it looks like. Talon is top side, but they're looking out for the invade. They have their eyes open. So they're not gonna ward to see if they exit or, you know, if they keep going. Alistar is coming with, they're all kind of dancing and looking at each other.
Everyone's just having a good time.
Exactly. Fiddle me timbers.
Fiddle me timbers. Arr.
The red side was kind of expecting something similar there.
Yeah, good on red side. Good on McFarland for actually managing to get to their guard point in time, defend that jungle entrance, because that could have been nasty for them if they were a little bit too slow.
That being said, red side most definitely has a stronger level 1. I think they probably could have killed the entirety of the blue team there if they were stacked. Kenan doesn't have a super strong level 1, but Alistar's Q would be insane there. The Rammus
Talon's
would be pretty insane. Talon would be insane. Kai'Sa's level 1 is really strong as well. They have a stronger level 1 fight. I think they maybe could have looked to fight there. What will be important is to notice that Rammus does have a slower clear than Sejuani does. So Sejuani, and she also has a better leash, I think. Rammus has a better leash than Sej does. So she starts off better, but yeah, I'm interested to see this matchup in mid lane, honestly. Just kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The Kenan, hopefully he understands how to abuse Kleptomancy. That way he doesn't, you know, miss out on a lot of goal potential. Versus a Darius lane, especially early, you have a very good chance of just completely abusing that. You see the classic Fiddlesticks messing up the CS for his AD carry.
Wait, Nico got two of them. Come on.
Alistar is jamming out right now.
As you would expect. So we would expect, I think, blue side to have bot lane priority here. Fiddle and Nico push
For sure. Even up until, you know, level 3, I think they'd have pressure. As soon as Alistar gets level 3, I think he's finally able to match a little bit of the pressure just in lane. They won't have to play so far back. But up until that point comes, I really think, you know, they just have to respect the abilities of Fiddlesticks early. Darius gets a nice Q on the Kenan there, followed up by an Apprehend. Looks like he's trading well. Kenan kind of ducks back in for no reason. When you're putting Kenan into a Darius right there, you want to make sure that the ESU goes to the Apprehend, because it does reduce your armor and your E will match and give you that armor back. So the move speed also helps. You can cancel your E at any time, so it just makes more sense, you know? Yeah. You can cancel and go for an auto attack trade there.
So Sejuani went ahead and secured that scuttle on the bot side of the match. She's looking like she might go for a gank on the Talon here.
Looks like she did ping on her way. Talon seems like he's aware because Sejuani is standing right on vision. Rammus kind of sees that happening and says, I want to take this chance to try to get the scuttle before Sejuani is, but Sejuani is definitely walking up towards scuttle here. Rammus looks like he's not going to react and he's still just going to try to take it.
They're going to
fight. Looks like it's going to be a smite fight, and Sejuani's going to ignore the go straight for the Rammus here. Rammus is stunned. Talon is there to help, however. Looks like also there to help. Looks like Rammus going to cross the wall. Does not pass over the wall and does die.
First blood over to Rek'Sai. Talon's going to escape with his life, so not have to burn too much or anything really.
Wow, Rek'Sai with the blue, that lane phase is over.
Flash does come out of the Rammus, so he's going to have to be very careful moving forward here. Sejuani and Rek'Sai both keeping a hold of their respective flashes.
I think that's important to note is that that's probably the worst the transaction could have gone. At least, you know, Rek'Sai got a blue buff, not a red buff. It could have been much worse.
Rek'Sai's looking to go in, get a knock up on Talon. He's trading really heavily. I don't think he's going to be able to kill, but a nice trade coming out for the West Day left. West Day Pier.
We missed a turret dive mid lane, it appears. It looks like Kai'Sa stepped too far forward. Nico hit an E into, you know, a key proc, maybe auto attack to get press the attack. Fiddlesticks feared. We're going to have a scrap top lane as well. Ooh,
right,
maybe not. Darius disengaging there.
Darius looking to order up that tri-bush, not much else. Get a little vision control. Make sure he's not getting ganks. Meanwhile, West Pier spot lane pushing in as expected. We'll see if that continues. There are some fairly nice CS leads forming on the side of West Pier here. So Darius is up a little bit. Nico is up. or Nico's actually down a little bit, but West Creek's bot lane is up, what, 6 CS, so
Yeah,
slightly
we just saw what Rek'Sai just did right then. Rek'Sai noticed that Talon left lane, immediately pressed W to try to see where they're going. So Rek'Sai is kind of familiar with how this kit works and how she can use that to abuse the matchup. Which makes me kind of wonder, were they really expecting this Talon pick and pick Rek'Sai early?
Yeah, I don't know if that was like 200 IQ or what, but like Talon wasn't picked yet, so.
It's also interesting to know that we were talking about how, the matchup's kind of weird. I've definitely never seen anything like it before. But what's cool about this is that Rek'Sai does have kind of infinite sustain in lane with her Qs. She's able to build up that range really quickly and then let that disperse. Also, what's nice to know is you should always keep track of where Talon has used his Eon. For example, he E'd over this wall, which means that Sejuani can walk from topside and push him over here and he can't escape. Side note, if you're ever playing versus a Talon, keep track of where he uses the over. He might be a ninja, but that ninja does have a cooldown.
A pretty long cooldown, actually. What is it, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
I think it's
something
100
like that?
seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty long. So, all lanes kind of change this point. Talon just came back after recall. He's got himself a pretty early team that Rek'Sai matched it. So, Gramus is going for against bot lane. He's going to roll into Fiddlesticks. He's going to get through and walk away. Alistar's going in. The cow is grabbing the Fiddlesticks. First blood going, not first blood, third blood going over to Ramus. Nice little kill for McFarlane.
Pretty big misplay there from the Fiddlesticks. M2 on Lantern definitely could have. Oh!
Talon looking for a fight against, or Rek'Sai looking for a fight against the Talon. Definitely. Okay.
Wow, just obliterated that Talon.
I'm not sure if I saw that coming or not, but kill for the Rek'Sai. Ramus is looking to answer it, trying to get kill traded back, but Rek'Sai is not sure if she wants it or not. She's going to go with no and back right on out of there.
What's important to note is that the Fiddlesticks could have most definitely have feared the Ramus while he was approaching. That would have meant that he wouldn't have gotten knocked up the first time. Alistar probably still would have looked for the engage like he did that flash engage, but it would have been much more escapable.
Probably going to be a fight over this trade. And Alistar's lower. The Sejuani's going in. Alistar's the back fishing lane. And that was a very risky dragon that comes on the side of his farm. A nice, easy beat to get the dragon over to West of here. And Sejuani says, thank you, I will take that.
Yeah, this is kind of going the same way that we saw last game go with West of Pier getting an easy advantage earlier on. I'm interested to see if they're able to close this
Rek'Sai going for a kill. Wow, what is that damage? Holy crap.
Wow, to see how that Rek'Sai power spike, that's the power of early game brawling Rek'Sai. I'm kind of, thinking that this is a matchup maybe that Name Downloading has played a lot of Rek'Sai jungle, or he's played a lot of Rek'Sai mid, and this is just something
there's one for flash WR, and that's a execution, a brutal execution out of the cannon. You hate to see it, you really do, but at the same time, like, you gotta be ready for that flash, man. You gotta be ready for it.
That was a glorious flash WR combo, for sure.
Nico going in, they're going for a dive in the Kai'Sa. She flashes out of the Nico R, but it's not going to be enough. She gets stunned up by the Sejuani, goes to prison, and Nico picks up the kill. An easy dive executed by West They Pier, and it seems like they're just running the map.
Yeah, they're kind of in charge right now. They're almost on a 5k gold lead at the 8-minute mark. That's pretty insane. What's also nice to notice is that last dive that they did was extremely clean. They waited to see how the Kai'Sa would react to the Nico R. Nico didn't deal any damage until she hit the R, which meant that she wasn't tanking. So Kai'Sa did dodge the ultimate, like she did. No one was tanking the turret yet.
Yeah, very well done by the side of Westic here. And if you're McFarlane right now, things are not looking good. You're down 4k gold. And the team that you hope to have priority early game, right? And this talent on this tournament, it's just not happening. So what do they do from here?
The only way really back in this game is to stop, put the game on pause, and to farm up a little bit, because late game doesn't look too poorly for them. They have that cannon engage. They have the Kai'Sa per se HP damage as well, but they really have to get there. You see, like Kai'Sa bought a Kirchi's shard, which is kind of weird because it doesn't build on anything Kai'Sa wants early.
I don't know, maybe just an early game power strike at him. Like, hey, this is gold efficient.
It's not really that gold efficient though. The attack speed on it doesn't, I think it's 80% gold efficient, not including the passive. When the passive is active, it's 90% gold efficient. So it's actually not really that gold efficient of an item. The attack speed's kind of nice, but you could have just bought upgraded boots for the same price.
Yeah, Berserker's Grease. So things will slow down a little bit. Herald is going to be spawning in the map pretty soon here. I would love to see West of Free move aggressively to get vision in the jungle, set up for that, because I think they are more than strong enough to contest it and get taking it.
What's also important to note though is that Riptail is an objective that baits a lot of people in. We see a scrap top lane.
So again, top lane, flash on for Darius. Coming out, comes out. Darius comes to flash. He will surely be killed here. Slow ticking time bomb of death as Kennen finally picks up the kill. So a fairly easy kill for the...
Well, I mean, it took 2 ultimates and a flash for that.
Yeah, I don't think he had the flash. I think the flash was a bit unnecessary, but
I'd have to agree there. I don't think it was. You see, the Alistar was standing still there because Rek'Sai wasn't able to see him for a hot second.
For the Kai'Sa here. Alistar's having none of that. Fiddlesticks meanwhile on the flank, and Rek'Sai just says, "Thank you, I'll take these easy kills." That is a very fed Rek'Sai. Meanwhile, Sejuani's looking for some trade kills top lane, but she's not quite going to find anything. It's 1v2. She forced cut him out. Rammus is low, but there's a teleport coming in from Kennen? No, yeah, Darius. Sorry, Sejuani's forced to walk away, but Darius is going to go ahead and get 3 on the tower. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai is going in mid lane, going to force Talon all are not much else.
A lot of scraps happening over the map. I don't think that, McFarlane's aware that these scraps will almost never go in their favor realistically. It just kind of won't happen. Even though, like Talon's getting a little bit of CS here and there, but Rek'Sai is definitely making him work for it. Not a big CS advantage mid lane. That was equalized very recently. The bot lane CS advantage is pretty massive. Top lane has almost a little over half of the kill advantage. The jungle CS advantage is pretty massive. Being aware of, the fact that Sejuani isn't even invading the Rammus. He's just not farming the jungle.
And Rek'Sai goes for an easy kill on the Talon, who just walks up to her and lets her unburrow and hit him in the face a bunch. So I mean, I'd give it to the Rek'Sai. That's a ton of damage, but I'm not sure what you're thinking.
He's done the same thing over and over again as well. He's walked up to the CS, and Rek'Sai said, I have ninja tabbies, I have a little bit of armor, I bought some HP, I can probably turret dive you at this point. You should be able to respect that.
Meanwhile, West Dupree taking advantage of the dead Talon and their pressure bot lane to go ahead and secure a pretty easy first tower. And looks like they're going to kill on Alistar as well. He goes there, comes out. Alistar's going in, he's going for the knockback. Kennen teleports for the flank. He goes to across all, but it's not going to be next. He's going to go down. Meanwhile, he's going to try to kill on the Alistar. Alistar's going to fall. No, he's not. Fiddlesticks going to get out as well. No, he's not. Kai'Sa's going to go ahead and take down that kill. He's running up too deep now. The Rek'Sai's looking for a flank on the Kai'Sa if they give him the chance. Rammus is not going to be able to go ahead and chase down that kill. Rek'Sai's still on the flank looking for something. She might find the Talon, but he's got his ultimate, so he's got his ultimate for 2 seconds. He's going to be safe. That's probably the end of the fighting. Yeah, everyone's out. Okay. Well, Rek'Sai's coming back in. She's looking for the Talon. This is a little silly, to be honest. She goes find the knockup on the Rammus, but that's plenty of targets to flash himself, but it's not going to be enough, and Kennen finds the kill.
That is a 600 gold shutdown, which means it's a 900 gold sent straight to the pocket of Kennen.
And she lost her flash. That's huge as well.
The flash unburrow on Rek'Sai is one of the oldest tricks in the book when it comes to jungle again. Definitely something you'd like to see on the Kai'Sa maybe to get in there.
They're probably looking to take a dragon, but Sejuani's having none of that. Still because pushing lands on Rammus, but Kai'Sa ends up securing the kill. Meanwhile, Fiddlesticks coming in. Rammus is going to fall to Sejuani eventually. Meanwhile, on the other half of the fight, Alistar and Kennen is almost falls to Nico. Not quite going to make it, but Alistar might be the sacrificial lamb. Nope, he's out. Talon might be a little deep, however. He doesn't have vault, he does that flash. He flashes to the wall, vaults over. He's going to get out. Totally safe too.
So it's important to note that happened in that fight as well, was that neither jungler had smite when they were fighting, which is why you saw them both look at each other for a solid second and go, I can auto attack faster than you can, and then they tried to take it. Kai'Sa ended up securing it, I think with a pretty good Q auto attack, so that was good for the red side, but they are going to end up giving up a turret, and I think someone died for that as well, Kai'Sa.
Yeah, Kai'Sa was the sacrificial one. Rammus
got an Infernal, so... Rammus did die as well. They lost 2.
Alistar is looking to go in. Sejuani's probably tower, but she's going to make it out. Meanwhile, Alistar went a little too deep, gets apprehended by the Darius, and that's an easy dump.
Now, Alistar didn't press his ultimate there. McFarlane's getting very, very greedy with their summoner spells recently, and when it's in a situation where it's 14 and 5, you can no longer greed for your summoner spells. Those are no longer things that you can save for the right moment, or even ultimates, you can't use those for the right moment. It has to be used to survive. The more gold that you continue to feed over into the side of West Appear means that this game is going to get only harder and harder as time goes on.
Yeah, I would have to agree. This is McFarlane should slow this down a little bit. They're trying to move too aggressively. I like the idea, especially with the dragon, right? You just got this kill. You're looking to punish it by taking a dragon, but you just and they did manage to get it. But at the end of the day, you ended up losing like 2 kills and a tower for that.
3 kills on the tower.
3 kills on the tower for that dragon. Is that really worth it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's an Infernal Dragon, so you can make the argument that if this was a very close game, maybe you could have said something of the nature of #word. But in this specific
Nico's grabbing this
situation,
round to Alistar. He's taking a bunch of damage, but not going to get hit.
in this specific situation, I don't think you can say it's worse because the Infernal isn't actually that good on you currently.
Tyson might look for a solo kill on the Fiddlesticks, but he's got the fear, so he should just be fine.
Looking at build-wise, Kai'Sa's sitting on a BF sword. She did buy that Kerchi's Shard, which means that, you know, she hasn't hit any of her power spikes yet.
Alistar's going in. Darius might be in trouble. He's stunned up by the Alistar. Alistar's pushing on. Darius about to have a dunk. Kenny goes golden. Darius does find a kill on the Alistar, but he gets shut down by the Ramus. And I'm going to go ahead and say that probably worth it for me.
McFarlane?
Yeah, for McFarlane, right? No, trading the Alistar.
No, they ended up trading the middle.
Meanwhile, Kenny is going in, slicing Maelstrom, slices up 3 members of Wesley the but it's not enough. He is all by himself. He goes down. Kai'Sa also falling, trying to find the kill onto Fiddlesticks, but not quite making it. And that's probably going to be an inhibitor tower going over in favor of West Caprice.
Yeah, if we're talking about
Rek'Sai's continuing to dive. Talon is in trouble, but Rek'Sai almost falls to the tower. It's not quite going to happen. Ramus ends up picking the kill on Talon. Sejuani's zoning Alistar off the tower. This tower is probably going to go on. Ramus is on the flank. He finds Nico. Is he going to be able to finish her off though? He's healthy. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai's tanky. She's going to go drop so low. How are they going to get out of this fight? Sejuani's so tanky. She's fine. And I guess they just walk out. Ramus is not done yet though. He's going in. He's going to look for the taunt on Sejuani. He's going to find it. Sejuani maybe the sacrificial land here, dying to save Rek'Sai. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Kennen here with this.
What's important to note there is that this Sejuani spent half of that fight BMing the enemy team over here behind this inhibitor. She sat there spam taunting over and over again, just kind of wasting time, and ultimately ended up feeding over a kill and a bounty too. That was a pretty big bounty. And 750 gold over to the Ramus. And the Ramus is probably one of the better members of the gold here.
West Caprice is working on the Herald. Yep, they just went ahead and finished it.
The Herald is on the side of obviously West Caprice here. I think that McFarlane there kind of got some gold back. It's only a 9,000 gold lead, so they ended up recovering a lot from the bounties that were fed over. I think that, you know, I'd probably be a little upset with straight up G22 here because, you know, he didn't spend the large majority of that fight behind an inhibitor BMing. So that fight definitely would have gone differently. They would have gone that inhibitor.
I like to think of it as something. Meanwhile, Ramus is looking for the fight on Darius. He's going to taunt Darius up, but Darius is so tanky, and he's got 5 stacks, but he's going to go down to the slicing Maelstrom. Meanwhile, Fiddlesticks is also way too far forward, and Talon's going to find the kill onto that schedule. And that is an easy 2 for 0 for McFarlane.
And there you go, now the gold lead is down to 8,000. We're going lower and lower as time goes on. This is the same exact thing we saw last game, where, you know, West Appear is maybe better mechanical play.
West Appear is looking for an aggressive play here, but it's a 5v3. How can they go for this? Ramus is looking to find the taunt. I'm not sure he's quite going to get it, but Sejuani is in trouble. She's too far forward. Nico got caught up by the Kennen stun. That's a free kill over to Kai'Sa. Meanwhile, Sejuani forced to flash out, but Ramus is not done yet. He's stunned up by the Glacial Prison from Sejuani, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Sejuani is being chased down by Kennen. He's going to be stunned up in a second here. If he can find the third stack, he can't. And Sejuani does manage to get herself to safety. That's another couple kills going over to McFarlane, and very likely a dragon. Fighting may not be over yet. McFarlane's going to start up the dragon. West is looking to potentially contest this. Taking up positions. This dragon burns on quick though. I don't see them. Fiddlesticks going in. They're all healing really hard. Rek'Sai steals the dragon. They managed to pick up a kill onto Alistar and Ramus, and that was a pretty well coordinated contest. They all just like flashed over. I don't know. Well done, I guess, from the side of West Dupree.
I don't know how many words there are in the dictionary to describe this, but I think clown fiesta might be one of them.
The funny folks are going for more. Tries to find a knock-up on the Kai'Sa. Doesn't quite get it. Maybe goes a little too deep. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai does pick up the kill on the Kennen, but Sejuani's taking up the tower. She's going to drop so low. She might not be able to push anymore. But this tower is going to go down. Kai'Sa's looking for the reset. Needs some mana. That inhibitor's going to fall. Meanwhile, I can only assume that
Talon's finally got his dust blade power spike.
Was West Dupree looking for more? I think this is insanely greedy, but it looks like they might. Ramus is looking to find the taunt with somebody. He gets apprehended by Darius. Alistar goes in. He's going to look for the knockback on somebody, but he's not going to find it in time. He looks like he's going to fall. He goes down to the Nico, but the Talon is so deep, he doesn't manage to get the kill. Nico are expensive to do. Talon manages to finish off the Fiddlesticks, but at what cost? The entire McFarlane team is dead. Quadra kill for the Nico. And this might be the end of the game. Slicing Maelstrom is huge. Maybe not so huge. Finds a kill onto the Darius and the Sejuani, and potentially onto the Rek'Sai as well. Not quite. Kennen's gonna fall, but I think he did manage to save the game. The respawn timers are not.
Nico just got a
long.
pentakill.
Pentakill, wait a minute. Okay. Pentakill for Nico. Anyway, I think the Kennen did manage to save the game there. The respawn timers are coming back up for several of the key players on McFarlane. West of is not going to get a win here.
And you know, this is like the name of West Appear's game here. They're all about taking the aggressive play, whether that means they get an advantage or they feed away a ton of bounties. It doesn't really matter what the situation is. Through all 3 games of the series, they're always about playing right in the enemy team's face. And you know, if that works out positively, great. But if it doesn't, you know, they kind of brush out their shoulders and do the next play the same exact way. You know? I don't know if to take that as if, you know, they don't necessarily quote unquote learn from a mistake, or if that's just their play style. You know, they confuse the enemy team. It's like we're ahead of you in gold, but you're still running in a straight line at us. You know, it's kind of weird. It's a 3v5, but you're still being really aggressive.
Yeah, that was a little much. I mean, I think it worked out. Beryl being trapped by Nico. I think that's like a strategy so they can go for the Baron, if I had to guess. Which I'd like to say, yeah, they're going to go ahead and start the Baron. West Blue is going to go start the Baron. Meanwhile, Person's looking for a kill on the foot on the Kaiser. Found the feeling in the Glacial Prison. That's going to be an easy kill on McFarlane's AD carry, who was just too far up in an area they did not control. And that is probably going to lead to an easy clean Baron again, notice the side of West Blue. Rek'Sai is going over the wall. He does have Guardian Angel. He's buying it most times he can. Philip is following with the Ghost Storm. He's going deep. Swanee is following. Nico are coming out. He's going to stun up 2 people. Yamas is going to fall. Alistar's going back in to sacrifice himself. He's going to fall as well. Talon and Kennen are going to get out. They're going to get out. But this is more than likely going to be the end of the game. It's a 5v3. In favor of West of P, but Arius says, hey, I'm going to reset, I'm going to teleport back in, and we're going to end this game right here. Kaisa's going in, but perhaps too deep. Oh, the Slayer almost finds Talon, but doesn't quite. West of P says, we're going to end the game, we're going for this inhibitor. We got a Darius teleport coming in, you got to dive on it. Talon says, I will dive on you, and I'm going to die for it. Kennen follows him up with a slicing maelstrom, hits like beautiful people, but he just doesn't do enough damage. He's going to fall to Rek'Sai in the end. Tower's going to go down. Kaisa's not going to do anything. This is going to be a win for West of P, and a win in the finals. Congratulations.
It wouldn't be a West to Pure victory without some endgame brawling there. Definitely, you know, I wouldn't label this as a clean 3-0. I think that they played all of these games very, you know, pretentiously, I guess. They were very cocky in their play style. I can definitely respect that.
So yeah, all in all, well played by both teams. I think that was a fun final to watch, and I can't wait for the next one.
We are going to move into our I think we're going to do the award ceremony here for the League of Legends Division 2, and then we'll get back into the League of Legends Division 1 finals.